$1 bills from right to left, and then top to bottom as the prophecy instructs, we obtain knowledge of the rest of the symbolism and intention of the Great Seal. When 2 quarters are placed beside one another, we see the eagle slammed into the pyramid. The eagle represents an airplane. The pyramid represents a tower. This image on the folded $1 bills holds the same symbolism as the Tower Tarot card. Tarot cards are not only used in fortune-telling, they also each hold specific qualities and can be charged according to those qualities. The tarot is a pictorial representation of forces of nature as conceived by the ancients according to a conventional symbolism. The Tower Tarot card not only reflects the tragedy of 9/11 through its imagery. The force shown on the card by lightning and fire is the same force represented by the eagle on the $1 bill. The passive force shown by the building is the same passive force shown by the pyramid. The force in the Tower Tarot card is an emotional water energy that was put into action to produce a change in humanity. When 2 quarters are placed side by side so the opposite is showing from what was shown earlier, an eagle's head and an inverted triangle are seen. An eagle, more specifically an eagle's head, represents the active element of water in Western Kabbalistic magic.
An inverted triangle represents the passive element of water.
Why is an eagle a water symbol? The eagle relates to the zodiac sign of Scorpio, which is a water sign. Christian tradition has linked the 4 evangelists, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, with 4 symbols: man, lion, bull, and an eagle. The 4 symbols were taken from Ezekiel's dream, where he saw 4 creatures with 4 faces. The first living creature was like a lion. The second was like an ox, the third had a face like a man, and the fourth was like a flying eagle. The 4 creatures from the vision can be seen on tarot card number 21, the World or Universe card. In astrology, the 12 signs of the zodiac are divided into 4 elemental groups of 3, one for each element of fire, water, air, and earth. The eagle also represents a phoenix, which is shown on some of the earlier Great Seals. The phoenix is reborn from its own ashes and represents rebirth and spiritual freedom. The cloud above the eagle is also related to a dream vision, like Ezekiel's. The cloud is a reference to David's dream in the Bible of building a temple dedicated to God, and the vision that George Washington had, where he was contacted by angels regarding the building of a united country for God. Here is a comparison of the Great Seal and Talisman of the United States with a water talisman made by a Golden Dawn magician. This talisman was made to increase personal pleasure or positive emotions. An image of the Ace of Cups tarot card was used along with the eagle's head and inverted triangle to provide the necessary symbolism. The Ace of Cups, shown by the overflowing cup, is a minor tarot card that represents emotional change in the microcosm or individual. It would be a perfect card to combine with water symbolism to create a personal change. On the other hand, if one wanted to create an emotional change in the macrocosm, using the Tower Tarot card would be perfect because it is a major card and reflects the universe. Here are some talismans that attract planetary powers. We can see the similarity between their 2 circles or seals connected by a strip and the 2 seals connected by the word 1 on the dollar. On the $1 bill, the connecting strip is the word 1. King Solomon's talismans seals are great examples of how specific images were combined with specific holy phrases to attract specific forces. Sometimes Solomon used Hebrew phrases and divine names, and sometimes he used Latin. The USA used Latin prayers on the Great Seal to call forth higher powers, just as King Solomon did. E pluribus unum was taken from the biographical writings of the Christian poet St. Augustine. The phrase relates to setting our souls ablaze and out of many making one. Annuit coeptis is part of a Latin invocation to the Roman god Jupiter written by the poet Virgil. The original poem and prayer was an invocation to Jupiter requesting aid in the daring enterprise ahead. Novos Ordo Seclorum was also taken from a poem by Virgil and is often translated as New Order of the Ages. It is suggested that the poem was interpreted as a prophecy of the second coming of Christ to judge the world.
The three phrases on the $1 bill are not just words with the mere material worldly meaning.
They are all parts of invocations to bring unseen powers to use on earth, to aid in their new enterprise of making souls ablaze in people throughout the world and to unite everyone in harmony. Does the style look a little more historically familiar now? Here is another Golden Dawn talisman, this time attracting the planetary powers of Saturn. The similarities between the talismans and the Great Seal are easy to see. Both the talismans and the Great Seal have one side with phrases above and below the image, while the other side has a phrase in the image. The Great Seal is designed like the Saturn talismans, with an image on one side that has verse above and below, and the other side with verse in the image.